Welcome back to Football Daily, where for today's XI, we're taking a look at 11 players that could be available for a loan this season. Goalkeeper, Andrei Lunin. Despite being 2 weeks older than Gianluigi Donnarumma, Real Madrid goalkeeper Andrei Lunin has made just 5 appearances in a top European league, which is just 3% of the total that his Italian counterpart has made at the same level. But despite his huge gap in experience, there's no reason the Ukrainian can't reach the same heights. Signed from Zorya by Los Blancos for €8.5 million in 2018, he has spent his first 2 seasons out on loan, first at Leganés, then this season at Real Valladolid, and then Segunda's side Real Oviedo. He managed to help save the side from relegation to the 3rd tier. Lunin has publicly set his sights on the number 1 jersey at the Bernabeu, but is unlikely to beat out Thibaut Courtois. Lunin won the Golden Glove at last year's Under-20 World Cup, which Ukraine also won, and also made the top 20 for the 2019 Golden Boy Award. It's clear the 21-year-old has the talent, and maybe another season regularly playing in a top league would be better than watching from the sidelines at this stage of his development. Defender, Collin Dagba. PSG's fullback areas have been a position of concern over recent seasons, so you'd expect if a player progressed from the reserves into the first team, he'd have a solid shot at lying down the place. With Collin Dagba, however, it appears the PSG hierarchy don't know whether to keep him at the Parc des Princes or sell him on, with Everton reportedly interested. So the clear compromise here is a loan deal. Signed from Boulogne as a 17-year-old, the now 21-year-old right-back made his debut 2 years ago, going on to make 38 appearances for Les Parisiens, 16 of which have been league starts. Promising for a youngster on the fringes of the first team, but his numbers aren't exactly impressive. Registering less than 2 tackles and interceptions a game, as well as just 0.7 key passes and dribbles a match too, don't appear to fit in with PSG's attacking ethos. The best way to evaluate Dagba over a string of games could be on loan at another club, and they would likely be open to that, but only if they can afford to let another fullback out of the door. Defender, Ethan Ampadu. In one of 36 loan deals away from Stamford Bridge manufactured by Chelsea, there were very high hopes for Ethan Ampadu. A Blue for 2 seasons after joining from Exeter City, the Welsh international had made just 12 appearances for the club, only one of which came in league action. But a year with RB Leipzig, one of many Premier League prospects to spend a season in the Bundesliga, probably didn't pan out as planned for the 19-year-old. Ampadu made just 7 appearances for Leipzig, with his only 90 minutes coming in the Champions League against Spurs. His 277 minutes last season weren't necessarily unproductive though, being utilised as a centre-back throughout and making almost 3 defensive actions a game. Ampadu has stated he wants to fight for his place under Frank Lampard, but a year without regular game time won't do him any favours. A loan to a championship club could be ideal. It did wonders for Tammy Abraham, Reece James and Mason Mount, all of whom are now regulars at Stamford Bridge. Defender, Tanguy Kuwesi. Almost a second PSG player in this team, but instead a first from Bayern Munich. Centre-back Tanguy Kuwesi was a surprise emergence in the French champions squad in the second half of last season, playing the campaign without his name on his shirt as he was yet to sign a professional contract with the club. Kuwesi scored a double in a 4-4 draw with Reims, amassing 13 appearances with his hometown club. Having turned just 18 but not yet signed a contract with PSG, he turned them down, as well as rejecting both AC Milan and RB Leipzig in favour of a move to Bavaria on a free. Seeing more of a future for himself with Bayern, Kuwesi will still, at best, be 4th choice centre-back at the Allianz Arena. Lucas Hernandez and Nicolas Soula are naturals at that position, whilst David Alaba has been successfully converted this campaign, and Benjamin Pavard has also split his career between centre-back and right-back. Still a teenager, there is a danger Kuwesi could stagnate if he doesn't start to get regular minutes, and a loan move might best facilitate this. Defender, Ryan Sessegnon. Rounding off our back line is Ryan Sessegnon. The left-sided player burst onto the scene in Fulham's promotion-winning campaign of 2017-18, and despite a lacklustre season in the Premier League, still did enough to move to Tottenham Hotspur, with Daniel Levy shelling out £25 million for the player. But it's hard to argue that the 20-year-old's first campaign in North London was anything but a disappointment. He may have started the season with an injury, but Sessegnon played less than 800 minutes for the Lily-Whites, making just 4 league starts. Ben Davies is ahead of him at left back, whilst further up the pitch, Son Heung-min is the obvious preference. Low on confidence and match fitness, it doesn't look as though Sessegnon will get any more of a look in this season than he did last. A loan move would be good for both player and club, and with Fulham once more finding themselves at English football's top table, well, it's almost as if a reunion with the club he played 120 games for before turning 19 is a no-brainer. Midfielder Rike Puj. La Masia is famed for the talent it consistently produces, and the next star in the making seems to be Rike Puj. Having just turned 21, the central midfielder made just 11 appearances last campaign, not having the same luck as Ansu Fati, who saw an injury crisis and attack allow him an extended run at the first team. Puj's skill set combines his natural passing ability with awareness and attacking creativity, something the Blaugrana lacked from the centre of the pitch last campaign. Dependent on what Barcelona do in the transfer market over the next few weeks, let's be honest, none of us really know right now, Puj could be a good candidate for a loan deal. Having to compete with De Jong and Pjanic for a starting spot, whilst Rakitic and Vidal currently remain on the books, now might be the perfect time to farm him out for a season if they can't guarantee him regular game time. And he'd have his suitors, with Napoli boss Gennaro Gattuso stating after their UCL clash that Puj would have a part to play in their side. Whatever it will be, one thing's for sure, he now needs the minutes. Midfielder James Garner. With an equally as impressive record of producing talented youngsters capable of making an impact at a young age, Manchester United have an enviable record of over 4,000 consecutive matches in which a youth product has made a matchday squad. One player who will look to continue that run in the future will almost definitely be James Garner. The 19-year-old made 6 first-team appearances last season, 3 of which were starts in the Europa League, and across this admittedly small sample size, made 3 tackles and interceptions a game from his deep midfield role. However, Garner failed to appear in a first-team squad for Manchester United after Christmas, and he has already been earmarked by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a player that needs a year away from his parent club in order to develop, something Garner himself has said he needs to continue to progress and reach the next level as a player. With continental experience as a teenager with a club of Man United's reputation, we're sure a lot of clubs will want him on loan for the next 12 months. Midfielder Curtis Jones. A short hop now to United's fierce rivals Liverpool, who themselves seem to have a generational crop of talent coming through the ranks. Ignoring the already established Trent Alexander-Arnold, the face of this batch of youngsters seems to be Curtis Jones, with the 19-year-old already being integrated into the first team. A versatile midfielder who's a natural in the middle of the park, but also capable of playing behind the striker or on the left, Jones made 12 appearances in all competitions for the Reds last season, scoring 3 times, including 1 in just 122 minutes of league action. With a taste of first-team action, you'd have anticipated a loan spell, like teammates Ojo and Harry Wilson experienced. There will no doubt be interest from clubs pushing for championship promotion or in the lower reaches of the Premier League. However, he has just been handed the number 17 shirt for his boyhood club, previously worn by the likes of Steven Gerrard and Steve McManaman. So it looks like Klopp is planning a bigger role for Jones this season. But if his game time is minimal come January, he might have second thoughts. Forward Bobby Adekanye. From one current Liverpool prodigy to one who turned his back on the Anfield dream, Bobby Adekanye is just 21 years old, but has already been on the books at Ajax, Barcelona and Liverpool, before turning down a 3-year contract under Jurgen Klopp last summer and signing on the dotted line for Lazio. Born in Nigeria, Adekanye's family moved to the Netherlands when he was just 4, and the striker has gone on to represent the Orange at youth level. In his debut campaign under Simeone Inzaghi, he was deployed mostly as a second striker in his 15 appearances across 3 competitions, with a goal and an assist to show for his 364 minutes of action. Not seeing a future for himself at Anfield, hence his decision to move to Rome, Adekanye will be hoping for an increase in his game time this season, as promised by Lazio just over a year ago. But as third choice in a one-striker system at best, he could become a prime candidate for a loan move anywhere in Europe, with his footballing CV a very impressive one indeed, albeit just at youth level so far. Forward Jan Fiete Arp. Unless you're Robert Lewandowski, being a centre forward at Bayern Munich is hard work. With the big pole scoring for fun, opportunities are very limited for anyone else in that role, especially for 20-year-old Jan-Peter Harp. Born in the year 2000, Harp became the first player to be born in the 21st century to feature in a Bundesliga match when he made his debut for Hamburg in 2017. He also scored 18 goals in 19 matches for Germany's under-17s, and as you'd expect with young German talent, Bayern moved swiftly for him, with the attacker joining up with the club in summer 2019. A year later though, and he's yet to make an appearance for the first team, with Joshua Zirkzee having nailed down the role as Lewandowski's understudy. Add to that the fact he featured just 10 times for the Bayern 2 all campaign, and we have a situation where Harp's talent could very quickly go to waste. Forward, Sebastiano Esposito. We round off our 11 with the youngest player in this list. Having only turned 18 at the beginning of July, Sebastiano Esposito is already catching people's attention at Inter Milan. The first player born in 2002 to feature in the Champions League, the Italian played 300 minutes for Inter last season, scoring a single goal. But don't let that put you off his talent, as in the last 2 years, he has scored 44 goals in 62 matches for the Nerazzurri's Primavera team, as well as 25 goals in 37 appearances for Italy's youth sides right up to the under-19s. A fortnight before his 18th birthday, Esposito was nominated for this year's Golden Boy, alongside the likes of Foden, Haaland and Jadon Sancho, and is also apparently on the verge of signing a 5-year deal at the San Siro. With Lukaku, Martinez and Alexis Sanchez all ahead of him in the pecking order, interest in taking Esposito on loan is already very high. A number of Serie A teams, including Parma and Udinese, want to provide him with regular game time. Wherever he lands, be sure to keep an eye on Esposito's progress this season. So that was our XI of players who could be getting a loan move this season, but what do you guys think? Will these guys go out on loan? Who's the best team for them? Or should they stay at their parent club? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to watch more Football Daily content, then please click on screen right now. And as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.